feel you watching me. Pull up across the room. I think you like the view. You gonna make a move. I don't make this easy for you.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Good Luck Sis. I'm your host Ellie.
And I'm your host Tati J.
And if this face looks familiar, that's right, you got it right. We had her on a previous episode. We have lovely Obelle with us again.
Welcome.
Hi guys.
Thank you for giving us your time again.
Of course, you know I already told you anything for you.
Yes. So
well, you two now.
So originally we said that she's a content creator, you know, about her company, Save Souls.
Yes.
Well, today she's on our podcast as a podcaster.
Yes.
Because if you guys don't know, Obelle herself has her own podcast with her lovely sister.
Yeah.
Obelle, why don't you tell us about your podcast?
Oh my goodness, y'all. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you a little bit of the podcast. It's just my guilty pleasure. And I really wish I took it as seriously as you guys do.
I love it.
That's why I didn't even mention it before that. Remember, like, I was like, well, you didn't mention your podcast with your sister. But to me, that podcast is my getaway with my sister. It's like our bonding time, really sincerely. Like, we're the rawest, like, real, like, our true emotions come out and our dynamic is just, like, it's comedic. Like, it's so funny.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like going to that podcast is called It's On Podcast. And what we do is we just basically, do reviews or we recap reality TV shows. And the main reality TV shows that we've been recapping is a lot of relationship reality TV shows. We've done Love is Blind, The Bachelorette, Bachelor in Paradise, and Bachelor. So if you guys into that content, you guys can hop on over. We keep it real, just fun. And we just tell people, hey, this is your podcast to get away from your reality.
Yeah.
Because we just want to joke around things, make fun at things, and don't take it too seriously.
That's
Life is not serious. Yeah.
Because we talk about reality shows.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I love that you guys focus on like reality TV because you don't find a lot of podcasts that talk about reality TV because podcasting is so saturated. You know, there's all of this, but you guys found your niche.
Yeah.
And just that's as serious as it can get.
Exactly.
You know,
and don't get me wrong, we do talk about real things sometimes because I would say the pragmatic person in me, it's like, I want to talk about something serious and my sister just takes me away from that. Because sometimes I want to have real conversations, like good, topics, like what we're doing. And we do that sometimes. But she also mentions like, you're always serious all the time. Let's just take this time to enjoy it. It'll be fun. Like just get away from things and just not be too serious. And here and there, we'll dab on some good little knowledge and good things. But other than that, we just keep it light and fun. So,
it is light and fun. It's like a good drive, listen to it, giggling.
Yes. Even I find myself laughing just listening back.
That was so funny. It's really, really good.
Yeah, thank you.
I really enjoy it. So you guys make sure to follow. Where can they find you?
It's on podcast, on social media. And it's on podcast, I think. Let me make sure because sometimes I'll be forgetting stuff. But I think it's on podcast. Let me make sure.
It's on podcast.
So it's on, you see, it's on _ the podcast on social media. So it's on _ on the podcast. Yeah.
And we'll have it down on our link, description.
Awesome.
All right. So we're going to dive into this episode. And as we've been doing previously, we've been having our icebreaker before we dive into the episode. So we're going to do that. So today we're going to be focusing on dating. And today, you get a different perspective from
a married woman,
engaged woman, and single.
Live your best life.
That's all I can do. I'm taking a shot.
But also having dating experience too, we can definitely give some tips and advice on that. So diving into the icebreaker, on a scale of 1 to 10. Rate your dating experience before being married and as single right now. And I'll also rate mine.
My face just changed. A 2.
Woo!
I don't date.
2.
I don't date.
But for the guys that you've dated so far.
I've never dated anyone. I had it in a relationship. Okay. That's it. And then it's like after that, no.
So the guys that you talked to.
That's not dating. See, here we go. What's dating?
Oh my God.
We'll dive into that. Okay, Obelle.
That is
Before
a very...
you met your amazing husband.
Oh man, that's a very interesting question. How can I rate the experience? Well, I would say I would give it the reason why I'm going to give it an 8 is because I think through dating, you get to know yourself. You get to, you get to understand what it is that you really need. You know, what it is that you really need in somebody. So if you're somebody that value God and you value, a lot of different things that, you know, just the mission that you're going for, and you see that person, you're like, oh, they could be a good person, but are they in line with my purpose?
Yeah.
So, and am I in line with that person? You see what I'm saying? So it could be a lot of different people that come around and they're like, oh man, I'm interested in you. And that's cool. We can talk. And one thing is, allow yourself to date. I always tell people that I'm not telling you go around there and sleep with anybody. If that's your choice too, that is it. But I personally, you know, kept myself before marriage for that specific reason, because I know once I did give that part of myself, I would be too attached. But I'm just saying all this to say that just allow yourself to talk to people, get to really know who that person is and understand if that person's mission is going to align with your mission in life. You know what I mean? And so I would say it's everything that happened for a reason. And I love where I ended up. So I'm just happily married.
That goes right into what aligns with myself with dating. I think on a scale 1 to 10, I would give it a 7.5 because that also allowed me to really understand myself. I'm very closed off. I didn't have a lot of experiences. My walls are this high. Like I didn't start like dating until I want to say like just recently, like 2020 maybe. People previously were just like, I don't even know what that was. What is it? But I think actually to me, dating was opening up and allowing you to see who I am truly. And also allowing you to give you the space to actually hurt me too, because that's being true and being vulnerable. And that's exactly why I did. And I felt that's when I really learned about myself. What do I like? What want to allow other people to do to me, how I want to be treated, what kind of men I want. And so on a scale of 1 to 10, I would rate it a 7.5 overall. That's good. It was trash. But overall, for me, it was me. Like, I'm the winner.
That's right.
I learned from it, but overall, the guys were trash. So on a scale to that's the... But going right into the next question, what is dating to you guys?
Dating is taking me out on dates, communication, not surface level communication. Like, we're diving a little bit deeper here. It's not like, what's your favorite color? Like,
what's your favorite color?
Yeah, like we're going a little bit below the surface there. And it may not work out, which is fine. I don't necessarily think, and that's the thing, is dating and talking the same thing? Like, you know? So it's like, but I do think it's not keeping, just being outside, seeing how you guys interact outside together, interacting in an environment, other people, digging deeper. That's what I'm saying. I don't date. I've never dated someone since my relationship, because like, who's taking me out on dates consistently enough to call it? I want to date 4 dates with one guy, but I don't know if that's dating because I didn't really like him.
So that's what I'm saying. So because I'm thinking dating too.
But we never got deep. To me, like, it was just surface level. Yeah, you would take me out, but it needs to be a combination of everything. And so I don't.
It didn't count because you didn't like him. It was more of a pity. And you know what's crazy? She's my best friend, so I already know what she's talking about.
Give a chance. Good person, just not for me.
Good person.
I don't date.
That's key right there. Some people don't understand the difference between a good person. They're just like, you're just not for me.
Exactly. So dating is taking out dates. We're going out. We're interacting outside of 4 walls, because especially in today's society, dating is not Netflix and chill. Dating is not having sex. That's not dating.
Exactly.
That's why
hooking up.
Hooking up. Yeah. So that's why we gotta really be cautious on what we're actually saying. Because we're talking about, like, how's your having sex life? How's that? That's a different rate than what dating actually is.
Exactly. What about you?
I'm looking at it from obviously different perspectives. First, I think dating should be intentional. People go out there and just like, they talk to everybody. Everybody. Any and everybody. And I think even for a guy and a girl, you both should have different standards. You know exactly, you know, like, okay, this is the person I'm going to meet, but do I really want to date that person? Just because they like me, they're like, oh, you cute.
That's another thing, yeah.
You cute. So does that mean you got to date the person?
So you don't like dating for fun?
No, I don't date for fun.
You?
Yeah.
I'm open to dating for fun because I've never experienced it.
Yeah. Really?
I've always experienced dating, then you are my boyfriend.
Yeah.
That's it. Not only happened one time.
I think dating to be intentional because I think talking is just talking to somebody, but you're not dating them, like you said.
Right. So over the years of just recently, I started therapy in 2021. And as I went through therapy, I realized I was dating for fun. My therapist confirmed that I was dating for fun. And we'll dive into this a little bit more where like, I knew what I wanted. I know what kind of guy I wanted, but I wasn't dating those guys. And she was just like, so let's get into it. Yeah. Why aren't you dating these guys? So this whole time, I was honestly wasting half these guys' time and I was wasting my time at the same time.
I think you're wasting your time if you in that moment you want to be intentional.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm also like, saying, if God give me my husband tomorrow, hey God.
Yeah. Come on, Father. Answer.
But at the same time, I also feel like you don't really know if the person's for you until you date them.
Yeah.
You have to date, even though it's like, I don't want to go to I'm dating him, he has to be my husband.
Yes.
But I'm also dating him to find out who he is. I always say I could go on a date with someone and he's not my husband. But because I'm so focused on that, what if I was just like, no, but then your husband could be, my husband could be your cousin. But because I'm just like, no. Like, you miss opportunities to make real connections with people.
I agree.
And I feel like sometimes it's like, yes, I do have the intent to find my husband, get married, but I'm also open like, hey, how are you? Let's go on and say, oh, it didn't work out, but we can still be in communication. We could still be friends. We could still see how we can benefit each other in our lives. And it was fun.
I love that.
But the thing about dating for fun is like, it gets too deep sometimes. It gets too deep where one person ends up hurting another person. I've never walked out from dating where we're both cool.
Okay, so here's the trick to that, Dali, because I actually personally, me and my husband talk about this all the time because what it is that you have to understand human psychology, right? So people are going to be attracted to people they're comfortable with or that makes them feel comfortable and feel secure in whatever it is, whatever way it is. That could be for both men and women, right? So if I'm comfortable with you, then I feel like, oh my gosh, like I want to see something more. Because you make me feel comfortable, like you feel gate a little bit, So it's like you have to know you have to tell yourself, if I'm talking to somebody right now and they are, feeling me in that way because I'm giving them the time, you have to recheck yourself. You have to make sure that, okay, what am I doing that what am I doing that is probably making them feel that way? And if I am doing that way, I need to make sure that I'm very, 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 very honest with them and tell them, I'm so sorry, but I don't think we can go to that level because I'm not there. But I wish we had a guy in this projection. I really wish, but
we have guys in the room.
I know, but I wish the honesty, because that could be different for female doing that versus a guy doing that, which is what I've learned from a guy. I'm just saying that because a guy can be like, oh, I don't see this. And then the woman is like, oh yeah, I'm going to show you, you're going to date me. Yeah. But a woman can say that. And then it will be like, okay, I guess, it's a rejection, but guys will be like, whatever. And some guys they'll still go for it. Right. But for women.
But speaking from my experience, for me, what I've learned in the past for me is that I was looking for more of that, a partner to talk to constantly, right? A partner we can just like, ha, kiki on the phone, watch Netflix together, or just hang out, go on dates, someone to take you out. Nothing too serious, right?
Did you tell them that though?
No, I don't communicate that.
That's what you need to do.
And the thing is that most of the guys were more of like, I'm going to make sure she likes me. I'm going to make sure she falls for me and stuff like that. But it's just like, how do you make sure to disconnect? Because a lot of us, we seek for intimacy. We seek for someone to, make us feel good, as in like, you just emotional. Oh, you're beautiful. I was like, damn, when was the last time I had someone tell me that I'm beautiful? Like when you're single and you're just like, whoa, when was the last time? You don't like them.
You just like what they represent.
Yes, they represent in your life. They represent like a placeholder of someone to be like, okay, I'm bored.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, let me download Hinge again. I'm bored. I'm just like, for what?
Wait, how do you feel about actual dating apps? Yeah, because now that you mentioned that, I'm thinking about it. Like, do you really think that you can find?
You see my face? I've been on dating apps since 2018.
So you don't think it works?
I'm single.
It works for some people. Some people have met their
I've met
partner.
some people that said they like it.
I did Hinge.
Oh,
I had
Hinge is the best one.
I had met someone from Hinge.
Really?
He taught me about I learned about myself through that person. That person wasn't serious in dating. So it's just like, you just have to be careful who.
Oh, that's what I
and
was
they were like,
afraid
luring
of.
you,
Yeah.
like me, date me. It wasn't until later on when I cut things off.
Yeah.
And then I just moved on with my life. The person was just like, oh, I didn't know you were serious about me. Oh my goodness. Yes, I want to have you as my girlfriend. I'm like, no. I moved on.
Nigga,
this
I'm
is
a
not
fiance.
happening.
I'm a fiance. Stop
That's
talking to me.
crazy.
This is not happening, sir. So it's just like, you have to be careful. A lot of them on there are just joining just to have
They just want sex.
That's exactly why I was always afraid of those apps. But I'm like, people find love and they get married. But I'm so paranoid. I was like, what if it's a serial killer?
It's God's will for you.
Then you'll find.
You'll find it.
I've only been on 2 dates from any dating app, and I've been on it for that long. But I told myself 2023, I'm not on dating apps, and I haven't been.
Were the guys that you meet, they were actually like really good at, like they showed that they were trying to do something serious, or do you feel like they were what Dali was saying?
The one that I went on multiple date with, I feel like he could have been serious, but we just weren't. We just didn't connect.
Click.
There's no passion. The other one, I don't know what that was.
You don't know what that was?
I was wasting my time.
What if he's watching us right now, Tati?
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
Oh, we know they watch. I know half these people watch.
I don't know what that was.
So let's dive into it a little bit more, guys. So oftentimes we have asked God, you've asked God to send you a good husband, a good man.
Received.
Received. I've asked God to send me a good man, a good husband.
Received.
Yeah,
Pending
received.
over here.
Pending, but God will do what he gotta do.
It's okay.
It took patience.
Delivery's on its way.
So I want to ask, what are some characteristics of a good man or a good husband? Like, what does a good man? Savannah, that's a good man. What is a good man to you?
You can go, girl. Go ahead.
Well, we're gonna get the married perspective, and then we're gonna get like, what would you want? And then what originally, like, when you were looking for
Did you get what you asked
a husband, did you get what you asked for?
Yes, and more.
Oh.
And more. I think you have to be very realistic and very real with yourself when you're asking, because a lot of women, they tend to have long lists, and that's fine too. You know, that you know what you want, but you have to be very realistic. Nowadays, you're never gonna find somebody that's just perfect.
No,
nobody's perfect. But for me, what I really thought was going to be important is somebody that's, first of all, God-fearing. Because once he fears God, you just see somebody that's God-fearing. Because, you know, I am a Christian. I speak that boldly. God-fearing man, what happened is he respects God so much that he will try to live his life to the best of his abilities and to the best of God's word. And that way he will reflect that through the relationship that he has with you. And then secondly, somebody that I know that even though they weren't there like in life, but they have a purpose, meaning like their purpose, is, you know, whatever that purpose is, I can come in, we can align our purpose within God and just, you know, even if we're doing separate things, but our purpose together is to whatever it is, you know, to create, to help other people, but we have some type of commonality of what we want to do in life. And then, the third thing is somebody that would allow me to be me in my space. There are people that you meet, they just want you to be the version of them. And they're always telling you what you're not doing, what you're supposed to be doing and stuff like that. And, you know, that person, I want them to be able to challenge me, but not try to change me to make them like themselves. Yeah. If that makes sense. Like, for me, I think if I was about to speak Creole. If I married somebody that was a little pushover, I would not be able to do it, guys. Yeah. I needed somebody that if I say something and it's not right, they need to challenge my behind, making sure that I do it the right way. Because when you find somebody that's a yes, sir, yes, ma'am, yep, it doesn't work out. You need somebody that challenges you, because that's what helps you grow as a person. And so I think those are the 3 elements that kind of like will be, you know, that will set you up. And my husband is more that and more, you know, like, you know, all the other extra stuff. But
we love to hear it.
Yeah.
You speak so eloquently. I'm not going to speak that eloquently.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
So repeat the question that way. I make sure I'm answering it right before I start.
What are some characteristics that you are looking for in a husband?
I need a man who's a man, and when I say that, I mean character-wise.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these men, you say pushover, I say pussy. In the sense of,
I love it.
there's no accountability. Like, if I don't tell you to do it, you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
So you don't love yourself.
Yeah.
If you don't love yourself enough to put yourself first, put yourself above me, please. Because if you don't love yourself to put yourself first, because it's like, times are hard. Black men, and my husband gonna be black, times are hard. So it's like, you lose your job, you can be in your little funk for a week or two. I'm gonna be there to emotionally support you. But Lawrence and Issa, insecure. Issa should have never have cheated, but I cannot sit there for a year and watch you just shit that sudeo pocket on in. Because I'm gonna resent you. And it's more so because you don't see your worth in yourself to go and put yourself first and do something to make you happy. I don't want that. Because then when you don't love yourself enough, this is when you do all the stupid shit. Oh, you're going to go ahead and like, I feel like people, not just men, people who don't love themselves, they hurt the people who love them because they don't even realize they're worthy of being loved. So now you're going to go ahead and cheat on me because you don't even understand how much you mean to me because you don't even mean nothing to yourself.
That's right. That's right. I love it.
Love yourself.
I can't love someone who don't love themselves, who don't see their
love
own
that.
value.
Love that.
They love me too much. And then I need a man who's also emotionally intelligent and secure in himself because baby, one thing about me, I'm gonna get it done.
Yes.
I'm gonna be wherever God has for me, I'm gonna be there. I need you to be there right next to me with flowers in your hand.
That's right.
We're not no Darius Jackson. You're not insecure. You're not calling me out on Twitter because as a man, you feel like I'm overpowering you.
That's right.
It's okay because you may be in my shadow for a little bit and I may be in your shadow, but it's okay.
That's right.
Because at least we're in each other's shadow.
That's right.
And I'm going to clap and cheer for you. And I want you to do the same.
Exactly.
A lot of men can't handle that.
Yeah, they can't.
When it comes on God-fearing is obvious. Like, you have to.
That's a deal breaker. Deal breaker.
That's a must. And then let me think, is there anything else? I mean, physically, we already know what I want.
Please tell us again, Tati. I really want to hear about it.
For him to be 6'3",
period.
But I will take 6'1".
Okay.
Because I am 5'10". And then heels 3 inch. I'll be
Talk to them.
6'1".
Wow.
And then also, as long as you're black, you can be light, you can be dark, you can be anything. As long as you're black. If you're Haitian,
top notch.
Because one thing about me, I'm going to go to the bow regardless. So you can be right next to me. We can have a little booyah session in front of the thing floor. That's fine. And then I think my husband's going to have hair. If he doesn't, that's okay. But I do like dreads. I do like little twisties, and that's fine. If you got ears pierced, that's fine. If you got tattoos, that's fine. If you're my mom's worst nightmare, that's fine. I accept that. So I always tell my mom, Mommy, you found love twice. I'm at 0. This is my man. And you can't say nothing because I'm still looking. Okay? And then so that's physically. I would love for you to be educated in terms of degrees, but I've grown and I've matured, and I understand success is in multiple ways. And it's unfortunate as Black men, sometimes they don't have that access to education. They got to take care of the house. They're 18.
Absolutely,
So I am understanding of that now. So you don't have a degree. What do you do? You're not a rapper. So what do you do? Like, we're not in the SoundCloud rapper age no more. So what are we doing? What do you like? Success, business plan. We can talk about that. And then, so that's like physically.
Okay,
we love it. He's out there. He is out there. He is. He's coming for you, honey. He's coming.
And if you got a little creative side, like if you could do something to help with the podcast, that would be great, but you don't have to. That would be great.
I'm loving Tati's answer, honestly.
I'm a pediatric nurse practitioner. Your kids are sick. Hey, you don't got to pay no copay. I'm here. What do you do for me?
What do you do?
You know?
Kiso pote su table.
But Tati's killing me.
That's my man.
All right, that's your man. You better claim it. She said, "That's my man."
I feel like his name is Jeremiah. Also,
okay. The prophet has spoken.
Not her manifesting her.
Manifesting her man. The name is Jeremiah.
All right.
Oh man, that's so fun.
For me, would be I know you guys. Did you guys all give 3? I didn't ask.
I don't know what I gave.
But I feel
I just gave 3, so I will give us.
Give like your
so
it's like 3.
I gave everything.
So it would be obviously God-fearing, someone who's supportive, 100%. And my man. He's supportive. I see you, baby.
I'm gonna see you, baby.
Someone who's supportive and just always is encouraging me to be like my best self.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't even see the potential in myself, but you're like, hey babe, like, you know, keep going, keep pushing, like keep going after what you want, because sometimes you can be discouraged.
Yeah.
And like, I guess childhood trauma, like, you know, it's, you know, our parents did push us a lot, but at the same time also celebrate me, you know, see my accomplishments, see what I have done, past experience dating. Every time I told a guy I have, you know, a master's or I work in this field, they're like, oh, you a big baller. But I feel like that belittled me.
Yeah.
So just like, don't bring me down when I try to talk about my success.
Yeah.
And I talked about that in previous episodes where previously when I started dating, I would never talk about myself. They'd be like, oh, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, yeah. Where I learned I need to be like, I do this. I'm successful.
Yeah.
And yeah, just having a partner that celebrates me, that pushes me, and that also prioritize our relationship. In life, things happen.
Yeah,
we're busy.
that's true.
So just having someone at the end of the day, let's come together and let's just like, you know, spend time with each other. Whether it's 2 minutes, 1 minute.
Oh, I got another one.
Would you say that's your love language, like just quality time?
Oh yeah,
then?
quality time, number one.
Yeah, because I feel like we don't talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
People don't understand the emotional intelligence part come into it, where it's like you understand your partner, getting to learn that person. It's like, hey, you know, let me really understand my partner and study them so I can know what they like, what they love, you know, what they need, you know. And obviously, some people they're like, I'm not a mind reader, but my husband just told me he wanted to be one, so I don't know if that means he's gonna try to read my mind, but no. But I'm saying, like, I get it. You can communicate because obviously people are not mind readers out there. You want to communicate, but when you communicate, you want that person to listen to you.
Yes.
You be like, oh yeah, I want this, but like, okay.
Yeah.
Nothing will get done. 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You don't see no changes.
Exactly.
Oh, that's another thing. If I tell you to do something,
And a good,
don't make me do it. Because once I do it, I'll never ask you to do anything again.
Yeah.
Like, no, because it's like, what's your purpose here?
Yeah.
And I think also I'm sorry, this question gonna go on. Having a man who's respectful.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
I always say you can fall out of love with me, but always respect me.
Always respect.
So when I
Yeah.
say respect, I'm talking about don't cheat, because that's the most disrespectful thing you can ever do. I don't care how much you love me, don't disrespect me.
That's
like,
it. Yeah.
Love me second, respect me first.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people
Ooh, I like that.
don't.
I don't think if you
They
don't
don't do
respect me, you don't love me.
You don't.
But everyone's definition of love is different. So that's why I separate the two. How I want to be loved may not be how that person shows love, but respect me.
Yeah.
To me,
I get what she's saying, because think about it, because somebody can love you, but because they have that toxicity in them, they're not loving you properly.
Yeah.
But if they respect you, let's talk about like Kiki's man, for example. He obviously doesn't respect her, even though she has everything going for her and she's, you know, all that. But he didn't respect her enough to not know, okay, you know what? I'm not going to put that on Twitter. Even if I feel some type of way, I respect the mother of my child enough to not go take that to Twitter. Yeah.
That's what he did.
That's just public shame. It's wrong. It's just wrong. So
I'm sorry, Kiki. It's a shame.
Kiki, do you love me?
No, she don't. She don't no more.
Let Drake slide in Kiki's DMs.
No, for real. We wonder if he was talking about her. That's funny though.
So moving on, I think in our time now, in our society, a lot of time women are describing good man as more of like, you know, they got to make good money, right? They have to be like, do you feel like that's important?
I feel like money is important as much as we try to downplay it. Is it the end all be all?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But I also think, Ellie has talked about this. If someone's making 100K, the other person's making 40, realistically, we got to talk about what that looks like financially. Because if you lose your job, we can float. If I lose my job,
we can't float. Yeah.
So it's like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
It's not what's the plan we can come up with. What's the plan you already have? I'm an observer. If I don't like something, I'm not going to tell you not to do it. I want to see how you're going to move. Right? I want to see what your natural instinct is. Because as a man, you're supposed to lead. You're leading based on instinct. I want to see what you're going to do without any input from me. And then we can talk about it. So it's like, if you're in a place where you're not financially there, you tell me how you're going to get where you need to get.
Yeah.
I want to see what you're doing. If you're all talk and then a year later you're still in the same position you came with, but you did nothing about it, I have to leave. Not because you're broke, because you like being broke. That's why I have to.
The mentality
Yeah.
I know.
Right, right.
So,
What about
Yeah,
you?
and to piggyback on what Tati said, I think money is really important. That's why you see with statistics that it is one of the main reasons that people in relationship don't work out.
Yeah.
So I always tell
Main
people,
cause of divorce.
and that's why it's important too. Like I get it, some family dynamics are different, and I get that. That looks different for everybody, and that's why with all of us doing this relationship talk, I want people to understand it's really what you make out of your own relationship.
Yeah.
But what I really do think is very important is that if one partner is not there, that you are able, the other partner is able to carry on that family. Because it's like, if you guys have kids and I marry someone, and it's like, I'm the only one that had to do everything, that know the ins and out of every single thing, something has to change. You have to,
It shouldn't be like that.
yeah, you have to think, like we were talking earlier, it's like, if I know my husband has a business or he's doing something, that is bringing on the money, let me learn that business so that if something happens to him, I know how to carry on that business so that we can be good. So money is extremely important, but it's really like, I really do think people need to go to therapy for money. Actually learn. Because there is psychology in money. Because where you come from does a lot to the way that you handle money.
Yes.
So if you don't actually educate yourself and say, you know what, I have a problem with money, and God forbid you find somebody who is in the same boat as you, it's all hell break loose. Because in a relationship, you'll see the person that do make the most money, or the other one doesn't, and then the one that actually is the saver and the one that's the spender. So you have to really have real conversations with yourself, like, am I a good steward of my money? Like, am I able to break generational curse like I want to because of the way that I'm handling it? So money is really important, but like Tati said, you have to see the person wanting to get out of that position.
Yes.
If the person is depressed, maybe somebody might be depressed and they cannot get out of bed to go to work. Hey, babe, you need therapy. If we're going to do something, we need something to fix it. And that really does require a good partner for them to see that in you too. Because I'm not going to say, like you said, if I don't see nothing working out, you're going to leave. But also, keep in mind, if I do see that there is a problem and there is the real source of the issue, we need to address that real source. Now, if you don't want to address the real source, we're gonna have some real talk to do. You see what I'm saying? Like we gotta have real conversation. Like, here's the issue. Address it and be like, do you want this? Because this is breaking our family. So
it's tough. I feel like money is when it comes to relationship, it's really tough. It's a hard conversation for people to have, but it's just like, it plays a big role in relationship in general. And I feel like nowadays with like all the baddies, they want a man that can support them, really take care of them, nails done, hair done. I feel like it plays, when they're looking for a man and a husband, it really is just like up there. But to be honest, if you're a girl that's in like making 90 to 6 figures, depending on your education, masters, there's only about 10% of men
that's making
who's making 6 figures. There's not a lot of men out there. So it's just like, hey, you have to be okay with that. If you're looking for a man, and I know a lot of girls who are making 6 figures that are okay with finding men that are making less than them.
They got a choice.
Right. They don't have a choice. And they're open to it. It's when they find the man is insecure.
Yes.
Now, not me being accepting and now you bringing me down because I make more than you.
Right.
That's the thing.
I don't like that.
Women should not settle in any other aspect.
Don't settle.
Because by choice, our access is limited.
Yeah.
So now, because I'm sick, it's literally like, because I'm doing good, I have to get less.
Yeah.
Because I'm successful, I work hard, blah, blah, blah. I got to a point in my career where I'm making this. But because the way society is set up, the way men make their decisions, blah, 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 there's a less pickings for me. So now I already gotta not downgrade, but go somewhere where I didn't think I would need to go.
To be honest, for me, it's not downgrading because if he has all the characteristics I'm looking at,
but I want, don't settle on anything else.
Don't settle on anything else.
Because you already.
Yeah. That's what you mean by that. Yeah. She's saying if you're setting up for the person that doesn't have as much money that you would want, don't settle for them cheating on you. Don't settle for them slapping you around. Don't settle for them disrespecting you.
I'm not a woman where it's like money, money, money.
Yeah.
I'm not either.
Yeah.
Let a man cheat on me, and it's just like,
you're not bringing anything to the table.
I settle for you, but it's like, nigga, really? Like, nigga, I'm making this plus more, and I love you because I thought you was a good person. And you're really doing this.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah,
that hurts on a different level.
It does.
That's disrespectful.
The person is cheating on you. They're not paying the bills.
There's always the one that you're like, oh, let me give him a chance. I do you the worst, and you're just like, I didn't even want you.
Yo, it's tough out there. It's rough out there.
It's really tough, and it's hard because I've talked to other single women who've said that, you know, they're making this X amount. And then the weird conversation is that even when you start talking to a guy, it's weird when they start asking a question about how much you make, because I feel like that shouldn't be a conversation until we're like further in dating.
So are we doing? Wait, so does that mean that they're looking for somebody that makes a little money? So before they
you a nerd.
I know, right?
When they hear that you're successful, they see that you've been traveling, right? They're already what are they thinking? This girl has money. Let me see how much. Like, let me see how much you have.
Let's no. We're about to keep it real on this podcast. Let's be real. Just because you and this is what the people don't understand out there. Okay, there are people out there that are not making money, traveling and getting their travels sponsored by men or the other way around, whatever it is. And there are people out there doing whatever God knows. I don't know how they find the money. They doing a thing and making it. You think that they have the money, but they really don't. They broke. Okay, they're wearing the fashion designer bags, doing all the expenses just for social media. I want to keep it clear. That's why you never look on social media and start comparing yourself to other people and think, oh my God, they're making so much money. Look at them. They're traveling every week. Or people be broke and try to sell you something that they are not. Okay, so at the end of the day, that's why it's important, people, to really check in with yourself, get real help, because when you start looking on social media, the social media will have you think.
Lost.
Social media will have you think, oh, okay, I guess this person has money. Yeah. And, you know, like, they're asking you, oh, okay, how much you make? Because you're making, you know, you're traveling and you're doing all of that. So what does that mean? What does that really mean?
It doesn't mean anything.
Am I going to sponsor you? What is that? Like, oh, because I have the money now, we can be a thing.
But a lot of guys know that girls are doing that. So it's just like, okay, do you have other guys that are sponsoring you? Like, you just have to be careful, because also for guys too, it's just like with all these, it's not none of their business, to be honest. If girls are getting sponsored, do what you gotta do. Nobody needs to know your business. Yeah. But it's just like with guys knowing this nowadays, if they want to talk to you, they're just like, so what's happening? But I feel like that shouldn't be a conversation that is brought up in the beginning of dating. That should be like later on when we're a little more serious into dating.
Exactly.
But for me, number one thing is that I don't like competition. I don't like a guy that feels like he has to compete with me. Like Tati said, there's going to be a point in our life where I'm going to be higher in the sense of like, I'm doing so much more, right? Yeah. And then you're, you know, things are not going as fast for you. Yeah. But going back to what I said, I need to still celebrate me and exactly. So it's just like, I never want to compete with you. Like, there's already so many competitions out here in these streets where I feel like if I tell my man something, he'll be like, oh, what? Like a little jealousy of some sort.
You'd
like
be surprised. There's so much of that.
That's why
I was so shocked.
That's why I'm bringing it. That's why
so much of that. I didn't know that guys and their wife or husband and wife actually compete. It's ridiculous.
A lot of times the women don't even know they're in a competition. Because I'm just living my life. Yeah. And then next thing you know, you're over here side eyeing me at dinner, and I'm just like,
but then does that person really love you though?
They don't. That's what I'm thinking.
They don't love themselves.
If it's a characteristic of them,
it could be
there's some people, it's a natural characteristic of like jealousy, competition
of your own wife. But you see, this is the problem. People having marriage feel like it's just a contract, and I get it. People out there, it is technically you putting yourself together. I'm gonna keep it real. You know I will. You putting yourself together with somebody, you're making both decisions. Yes. So it's basically kind of like a contract. But if we want to be real, like if you really thought marriage as in you become one in the most spiritual aspect of if you win, I'm winning. Yes. If you win, like if my woman is winning, bro, like I got a baddest girl.
Back like,
exactly. That's my girl. Like, wouldn't you feel like that's your reflection of you?
That's going to be mean.
It's like if my man is winning, good. We all winning. It's not about you winning and
yeah, we're just together.
Exactly. It's like, and the thing is, people that probably think like that, like you said, it's just like their insecurities. They don't love themselves. Yeah. It could be also parents' trauma, comparing them to other people. So then they start comparing themselves to other people. So it could be so many different factors. But guys, cut it up.
But those are all things that you look at when you're dating, because trust me, if he's so competitive in a way and jealousy with his friends, that's gonna show in your relationship.
Because I don't even think they're jealous of their friends.
Oh really?
They're jealous of their women.
Yeah. It doesn't sit well with
that
me.
Is weird. That is so weird.
I think it's because they know they're not good enough.
Ooh, for
But
you.
a guy, they know someone else can get you. Someone that's actually worthy of you can actually
But then
get
you should
That
be
could be
doing
it too.
more, though. You know you can do more.
Yeah.
You know I deserve. It's sad when you know I deserve more,
Yeah.
and you're the problem.
I'll never tell a man, yeah, you can do better than me. What? You can't.
Yeah.
So it's like, why are you telling me that?
Right.
Why are you saying you deserve more? You like someone else, like, what? Because now, do I deserve more? Why are you saying that? Is there something you're putting out your red flags in front of me, but I'm still blind and I don't see them?
Right.
But
Yeah.
it's like, why are you saying that?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Learn to love yourself, people.
Yeah.
Do the work. Learn yourself.
Yep. So let's dive into a little bit more. I know that when you started dating and you found a man, I know everyone talks about the Sierra prayer. Have you heard of Sierra's prayer?
No.
Okay. Tati, you heard of Sierra's prayer? Yeah, that's like.
Hold on, there's a Sierra prayer out there?
You know Sierra, the singer, how she found Russell Wilson after
Oh, yeah.
Future?
So she
she had a prayer.
She had a prayer.
And God gave her Russell.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's how she found her man, Russell.
Okay.
So ever since, all the girls heard Sierra pray, they're like, I'm gonna pray for a man, I'm praying for a man.
Yeah.
And one of my main goals for this year is I want to normalize women saying that I'm praying for a husband.
Yeah.
Because for me, I talked about this with my friends, is that for me, I was always embarrassed to say I'm praying for a woman. Oh, not a woman.
Oh. Things just went a little south right now.
For your daughter? Yes, there you go.
Things went a little south just real quick.
Okay. I'm praying for a husband because it's just like, you feel like it's not normalized. People don't talk about it a lot, or just, I don't know why I did feel embarrassed about it, because it wasn't, my circle didn't really talk about that. So I feel like I didn't have the space to talk about I'm praying for a husband. I was just saying I'm dating,
I also feel like to normalize the saying, because everyone says, I don't need a man, I want a man. Me, I need my husband. I don't need a man in the terms of financially, or like, man, that's great, that's gonna come with it. But me, being an only child, being someone like, you get lonely and you don't want to live in that. I need my husband. Like I do. And it's like, you used to be so embarrassing. I need a man. I don't need a man. No, I don't want to be that independent woman who said, I need my husband.
I never said I never have ever said that in my life. I don't need a man. Like,
Yeah.
I have.
There is this narrative out there in people with being the independent black woman thing, and they're preaching that narrative that, oh yeah, I don't need a man. I think it's all facade to hide. No, it's all facade. It's all a facade.
Yeah.
It's some people are just hiding behind the veil that they actually need a man.
Yeah.
Like you said, you see how real you were? Like, it gets lonely.
Yeah.
You gotta be real with yourself and check yourself like that, because the moment you start, oh, I don't need a man, you just downplayed, and you obviously, some man, the real man ain't gonna come to you either. If you don't need them, you don't need them. The real men you're looking for, they're not gonna come. Energy, you're not gonna come to you.
Companionship. I need that love.
Yeah.
I need that intimacy. I need that. Like, God forbid my life is meant for me to be single forever. I mean, I don't have a choice. If that's God's will, that's God's will. But it's not gonna be easy.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not. So if I have my pick, I need
that's
my
crazy,
man.
because I never said that. I was like, God, me and you gonna fight on this one.
Yeah.
Because I'm not living my life alone. Like, I
it's a
felt like
real
I deserved.
conversation.
I had that conversation with God, and I really didn't see my life being single. I have friends that said that, like, they can see their life being single without a man if it's God's will. Well, God, fix your will. Fix your will, God, because not me gonna be. I just can't see. I'm already alone. I'm all, like you said, I'm already an only child. I see myself spending my life with a man that I love, growing our family. I see it. So God, you're not gonna play me and not give me the man that you see is best for me.
Well, let me tell you the truth. God never intended for women or men to be single. Let's be real right quick. Like, we're going to go back to the word, if we want to rely on that part. God never intended people to be single. Everybody who probably stayed single, it was a choice. Paul, he chose to stay single. He probably didn't want to go find a wife, because back then in the Bible, they wanted to go find a wife, whatever, which is interesting nowadays. But yeah, so like, God never intended. So if he created Adam and he said, oh yeah, Adam was lonely. Yeah. Don't you think the reason why he created Eve is because he felt like Adam needed Eve?
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? Just as much as Eve needed Adam. So it's like, technically, if we want to really go back to our biblical like
can't do it alone.
You can't do it alone. And even in businesses and everything, if you really have that mindset of, oh, I can do it all by myself. No, honey, you cannot. I would hate to break it to you.
The Tyler Perry movie,
you're gonna need somebody.
Taraji ended up finding herself a husband. I can do all bad by myself. She found her husband at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So just to show you.
Wait, she's married?
No, I mean like in the movie.
Okay. I was like, wait, when did Taraji get married? I didn't know.
It is your choice to be single. There's nothing wrong.
Nothing wrong, but it's a choice.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a choice.
It
becomes a choice when you do that.
It is a choice, absolutely. But I think that, girls, we need to, pray to find.
I agree. I did.
Yeah.
I did. I personally did pray for my husband.
Yes.
And I told God, everybody that wasn't meant to be in my life, remove them.
Amen.
And that answer.
That is a prayer right there. That is a prayer. I remember exactly when I started praying for my husband. Never did. My mom always said to me, like, you gotta pray for me. And I would look at her like, okay. Had a conversation with my cousin the month before, and she's like, I don't know why you've never prayed for a husband, because she knows me. When I pray for something, like when I literally pray and fast, it will come. Like my faith is like on a whole different level. Me and God, we're right here.
Yeah.
We're here. I can say this now. There's nothing I've never, like, I pray and it happens. Like, there's nothing that God has never given to me that I pray for. And it's amazing. And I continue, that's how my faith continues to build. Seriously started praying for my husband. Like, literally got on my knee. I remember getting on my knee and I literally cried to God, and I was like, God, it's me. I was like laughing, and I was like, oh, not me doing this. My eyes was half open, half closed, because it was awkward. But not the devil trying to make me feel uncomfortable to pray about something so important. Because finding a good husband is so important, because it really determines your future.
It does.
A man will break you.
It can make or break you. My grandma died.
I always say I'd rather say single
than marry wrong.
You send me someone that's not gonna be the one.
Oh my God, you die. You like I love that she's got the emotion into it, because it's so real.
It is real.
It's so real out there, because you see people get into bad relationships and bad marriages, and you see their life just go into shambles. Because if only they just make that right pick for them, then a lot of things could have been avoided. Traumas and a lot of curses and things could have been avoided. And my grandma did say something like that to me. She said, if you're praying, you could be praying about moving once. You could be praying about what career to be twice. But if you're praying about your husband, honey, get down 3 times. Pray consistently for who you want God to put in your life. Which kind of brings me into a question for you ladies. Do you believe there is that one person for you, or do you think there's multiple people out there?
I think
multiple people for you.
Multiple people. I think different aspects of your life are a different person. So it's like when I was younger, the person I loved when I was younger, till this day I still love him, because it's like I love him for my younger self. Today, if we were to meet today, I'm pretty sure we would not have we would never be in a relationship. But it's like, so I couldn't love him for who I am right now. I feel like my husband, it's like I'm going to love him for my husband, like in this space, in this person that I am now. So I think you can love different people, but it's a different type of love. Like my teenage love, like that's my teenage love. That was my baby, This husband love is 10 times great. And even if I found another love in between then, it's like I can never say I don't love my ex. I'm not in love with him. I can never say I don't love him.
You have love for him.
I love him. And I can, and I don't even feel awkward saying I love him. Even like I do have love for him, but I love him. And even this past person that we're gonna get into episode about, I love him. Like I'm not in love, but I love him. Like,
but those are platonic love too.
I think it's deeper than platonic.
Oh, okay.
There's different types of love.
There's different types of
love.
Like,
I'm not gonna lie, my guy friends that I love, I don't, the guy that I just, it's deeper than that. It's not in love because we're intimate. I wasn't intimate with my guy friend. So that type of love is a different type of love. So I do think you can love multiple people, but I think your person, that's a love that you can't even like, I don't have it, but I know it. Like, that's a love that's like, I'm in your skin, baby.
You become one.
I say that.
Yeah.
I literally say that. I just want to get inside your skin. I want to be
It's about to get real. It's about to get real.
That's how I want to feel it.
I'm so excited.
Like,
y'all getting me hot in here.
I literally touch him. I'm like, I want to get inside your skin.
Like, that's a love that is like so deep.
That's funny.
That it's like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like the other ones, like, I love you. This words I'm in love with you is not even enough.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just so much more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what about you? Like you.
Well, for me, personally, I always knew who I was supposed to marry. Okay.
Oh.
Yes, I did. Because remember, all my college
fiance?
years. Yeah.
You knew it was gonna be him?
I didn't know who it's gonna be.
Okay, that's
but what
say.
did I used to say in
She
college?
always said she met her husband before.
I said I know who my husband. I don't. I know, but I know
I've
that
met
I've
him
met my
before.
husband
Yeah,
before.
I haven't met mine.
I kept saying it over and over again.
Wow.
All my
always.
friends know. All my friends.
Wow.
Are like, I feel like it's not someone I don't know. I
Wow.
feel like
Always
I
said that.
know this person. Always said it.
Wow.
Always said it. And here I am now.
Look at God.
So I've loved this person all my life.
Aww. It's so
Well,
this got real.
It's good that we get Tati's perspective because
Yeah.
Tati had a very long-term dating experience. You dated one person,
For
right?
like 5.5 years.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, from 17
So
to
you saying
22.
he's the one that you still love, or you don't
Yeah,
think
I
he's the
still-
one?
No,
He's
he's not the one.
Okay.
But I still love him.
Okay,
in terms
okay.
of like, you know, you get to a
I'm
certain
so
point with
Haitian.
forgiveness. You get to a certain point with forgiveness
Yeah.
where
Okay.
it's just
That
like,
makes sense.
nigga, you
Therapy.
stupid, but it's okay.
Therapy,
Like,
honey.
I still love you because it's like I can't take away the good.
Okay, that
came
makes
with the
sense.
bad, you know
Yeah,
what I
that
mean?
makes sense.
And
Yeah.
I also feel like with true forgiveness, it's like me being single right now gives me every reason to still be bitter and be mad. Because it's like this person who what I know is in a relationship, happy, blah, blah, blah. Me, I did nothing wrong, I'm still single, but I
Yeah.
still forgive. And
Yeah,
that's how you know
yeah.
you're true. Because it's like,
That's true.
it's easy to forgive when you're happy and you're married. Because like, oh, you let me go and I found better. I haven't found the better yet.
Yeah.
So I can
Preach.
still be in that, fuck you, nigga. I'm in these streets because of you, and you're happy, and I'm still single.
Yeah.
But that's how you know true forgiveness, because I'm not where I want to be,
Yeah,
but I
but
still can let it go.
go,
I don't
yeah.
blame you for putting me out here for these other people.
Yeah. You'll find
You'll find your
the right
husband.
one will come
Yeah, I
around.
just said I have a genuine heart. I just said all that. I forgave.
That's
Bless
right.
me.
God,
Bless me.
God, no, He will bless you. And Dali, I'm so glad that you shared that because I feel like people don't understand the power of prayer.
And
it's like if you really pray, and one thing God don't play about is marriage. And people want to make marriage into something what it's not. I'm gonna keep it real on here. People be making marriage into what it's not. And it was, like it's real. Like marriage is a real thing and it's ordained by God. And it's like once you pray and start really putting God, listen, you see my heart? I need you to take care of your sis.
One thing I didn't
Take
play
care of
with
your
God,
daughter.
but when it came to relationship, me and God fought. Like I was like
I remember you said that.
I was doing prayers with my I usually pray with my eyes closed, like God, blah blah blah. But when I was talking to God when it came to relationship, I was like, God, what I've been through, I don't deserve it. What is going on? Like I'm screaming. I'm like,
We
God,
normalize
I
God
want.
playing in our face.
Yeah,
For real.
Stop playing with me.
And remember, timing is everything.
Exactly.
Because when I met my husband, man, it was real tough times, but in a good way because it's like it allows you to kind of learn the person when they're going through the process, and you grow together and you kind of learn each other. And it's like, okay, I prayed for this, and God allowed me to have this person. Like, don't take advantage of it. Like you just kind of learn that okay, anything that you pray for, it's attainable. And when they do come, accept it.
Yeah,
Because people be praying for stuff, they don't
But
accept
that's the
it.
thing with the prayer for your husband. It's kind of like before I used to be like, oh God, I want my husband to be like this, da, da, da. But now it's like I feel like God, I hope he had a good day. Like God, I hope that relationship he's trying to get over to come to me.
That's right.
Get him over that.
That's
Let
right.
him be healed from her.
That's right.
Like
Ooh.
God, I hope he's in his healing stage.
There you go.
Because it's like as women, we want the finished product. So we gotta pray for them while they're being built.
There
So
you
do
go.
that.
That's where I was getting at too.
God, you see me?
There you go.
She's ready. She's
There
ready.
you go.
But I'm waiting.
Enjoy the
But
process,
you gotta
honey.
pray for them because like you just never know where they're
Yeah,
at.
you never
Because,
know.
At this point, I feel like I'm good. I feel like he's still working on him,
Yeah.
which is why it's taking so long. So I'd really be praying like, God, I hope he had a good day.
Yeah.
I hope career-wise, education, where he needs to be. I hope he's just going into the path you're leading him
to be,
find me. Like, remove all the
And also pray that God also does the work in you.
In you.
Yeah.
There you
So
go.
you can be prepared for that relationship.
There you go.
know?
Yeah.
So like
Took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah, because
God,
you also
work
have to
on
pray
me.
for yourself. Like, hey,
Yeah.
if I'm still working through something, God, remove that, so that when He comes, when He,
it's therapy.
yeah,
You say something like, "Oh, that's why I'm not in a relationship." God, I see it.
Yeah.
I literally like, okay,
Yeah.
this is gonna be an issue.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
work on that.
there you go,
yeah.
man. There's some good stuff. Some good
guys,
stuff, man.
Thank you for tuning in to Good Luck Sis. Obelle from It's On Podcast.
Yay.
Thank you once again.
She already told you guys where you can follow them, so make sure you guys tune in to their episodes. Make sure you guys follow them. Where can they find you guys again? It's on
__ the podcast. Okay.
So make sure you guys tune in, and thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Good Luck Sis, and we will catch you guys on another episode.
Bye.
Bye everyone.